Well, a report by Project Management Institute has said the global economy needs 25 million new project professionals by 2030. Globally, a gap between the demand for project management skills and the availability of talent continues to persist. This opens up a host of new job opportunities in the project management-oriented employment for project professionals and all change makers. Now, to close the talent gap, 2.3 million people will need to enter project management-oriented employment every year just to keep up with demand, and this includes project managers and all change makers. Let's get talking as Ifemade Konat, lead coach, House Top Coaching, joins us now via Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us, Ifemade.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here again.
Good to have you. Now, this report by PMI, that's a Project Management Institute, has said that the global economy needs 25 million new project professionals by 2030. How do we close this gap?
First of all, it's worthy of note to mention that project management is a field and a skill set that cuts across every possible industry, especially for change makers. So the first thing we should be looking at is education, right? Okay. People need to be more aware about the importance of this skill set, and the Project Management Institute is already on top of that, but more awareness needs to be made among students of higher tertiary institution and even already employed graduates, right, to pick up this very, very important skill, as there is a huge gap, as has been said, and that gap is going to, that means there's going to be more opportunities for people to take on projects and project management related jobs. So the first step towards bridging that gap will be more.
Okay. We would get back to talking with Ifemade, of course, on this issue of getting more people into the world of work. And of course, that's going by this research or this report released that the global economy needs 25 million new project professionals by 2030. What exactly are these skills needed? What are the job opportunities that would be made available, and what exactly are the technical skills or the prospects for those who would be going into this world of work? And that is our focus on this discussion. Ifemade, are you with us now?
I should be. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I said the first thing towards the first step towards bridging this gap would be more enlightenment, more awareness, more education. Students still in tertiary institution need to know that such opportunities exist in the work field, and even already employed graduates, right, need to be educated and become aware about these opportunities so that they can see the need to equip themselves with the necessary skills that will help them fit into the gaps that are opening up as far as project management is concerned.
So you talk about necessary skills. What are these necessary skills that are needed to fill these gaps?
Okay, so we're talking about project management. So the what it entails really is leadership skills, the ability to start and finish projects seamlessly and effectively. So you're talking about management skills, you're talking about planning skills, you're talking about leadership skills, the ability to lead a team, because if we're talking about projects, no matter the magnitude, small, medium, and large scale projects within or outside organizations, it requires planning, it requires leadership, and it requires technological skills as well. People that venture into or intend to venture into project management need to be aware of what softwares, for instance, what technological platforms they need to be able to handle to make projects run smoothly. There is literally no organization that does not need a project manager to handle tasks and projects and ensure the smooth running of goals and projects within or outside the organization. So
and apparently,
these are some of the.
Yes, from what you just said, there is a need or a huge gap that education has to fill. But looking at the current syllabus that we run in our, institutions, especially the tertiary institutions, it looks like it's always, repetition of what our forefathers have learned. How do we, change things around and, fill that gap of education, or create a better education system that would help fill the skill gap for project managers or future project managers?
So you've mentioned one of the major challenges that exist at the moment, the fact that the current day curriculum from, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can. Go ahead, I can hear you. Okay, some audio issues there, but of course we would fix it and get back to the conversation. But looking at the school curriculum, the syllabus that we currently have in our institutions, from primary to secondary to tertiary, there is a lot that needs to be done, especially when it comes to reshaping it for the changing world of work. And this research has shown that the world would be needing nothing less than millions of workers or of project professionals by 2030. That's 25 million new project professionals by 2030. But how do we fill this gap if we do not change the way we educate our youth, the way the syllabus of the school system that we currently have? Thank you for joining us again, Ifemadi.
Can you hear me? Am I on now?
Yes, you're on.
Great. So considering the current curriculum spanning from the primary level of education to tertiary level of education, I am of the opinion that the government and the Ministry of Education needs to bring the curriculum up to speed with global standards, global demands. We need to look at what are the skill sets that are required in the changing and ever-evolving world of employment, and then create or bring the curriculum up to that level where our students in school are actually adequately prepared for the opportunities they will be faced with, immediately after their education. They should be able to be, school is supposed to prepare people for the employment market or business. So the first thing that needs to be done is a total overhaul of the current day curriculum. Like you mentioned, some of the things that are being taught in schools today are literally archaic, right? They are methods and methodologies used years ago, and some of those things are not applicable in today's world. So in order for us to, as a nation, churn out more prepared graduates, that first step needs to be taken. What is applicable in the world of employment? What are the needs? What is the future of work? And then we ought to create subjects and the entire curriculum to fit into what is actually going to be relevant for graduates to get profitable employment or to be able to build businesses from the scratch.
So who are the stakeholders to engage in this conversation? Because of course we have to start from somewhere. It goes beyond talking. We have to meet with stakeholders and those who can change things around.
So we'll have to start with the Ministry of Education, for instance, right? There are a number of NGOs that are already putting out good work about the need for a total overhaul of the education system. For instance, the education system as it is focuses more on a lot of theoretical approach to work, to subjects within the school system. However, more practical approaches are needed. So there are NGOs that are putting in good work already. The ministry, it has to start from the top. Right? Because we have the teachers as well. Okay, the school owners, private school owners. But I was going to say Ministry of Education, because we have way more public schools as a nation than we have private schools. So the larger chunk of Nigerians actually attend the public schools. So it has to be on both sides. We have to have private individuals, trained trainers, trained teachers and school owners to expand their view on what education really is all about. But then we definitely need the government to be in on the overhaul and the transformation of the educational system, because there is so much that private individuals can do if we do not have the partnership of the government. So as much as it has to start, teachers need to be trained about the approach towards education, the content of curriculum. The government also has to be on board to ensure that there is a general overhaul of the educational system, considering the fact that a larger percentage of the Nigerian students are enrolled in public institutions of education.
And as the world of work is changing, we see some roles being taken over by technology, for instance, typewriters and phone booths. But tell us the roles that are likely to take center stage in the next few years.
In the next few years, as technology evolves, we would see greater need for consultants, for people that work in the technology space, right? Developers. That's why, like you said, technology has really taken over. I said consultants because even if machines and apps and softwares are used for certain functions, we'll still need the human factor, right, to make sense of what the machines have calculated, or the results that the machines have brought to the table. So we need human capacity developers, we need consultants, we need more people in the technology space to help us make sense of what is being churned out from that area. We still need people in the medical field, because a whole lot of research and development is still going to evolve, right? Especially Nigeria as a nation, we need a whole lot of people getting into the medical field, getting into the sciences, and getting into the technological related courses of study. Yeah, and human behavior evolves as well. We will need more people in those areas, right, to help human beings continue to function at their maximum capacity, despite the introduction of robots and apps and all of those technological changes.
Maybe we should highlight some of the factors mitigating against this evolvement, because we know that technology is evolving. But what are the factors mitigating against the evolvement with the evolving technology?
Okay, one of the major points would be that naturally, human beings are averse to change. At first, when you introduce something new, the first, 80% of the time, the first reaction is resistance.
Sure.
Right? So people are prone to resist what they do not know, what they are not used to, right? So the change management is important there.
Okay.
Because it's either we catch up as a nation with the evolution in technology and work itself, or we fall back, and we cannot afford to fall back. So change management is necessary at various levels to help people get from that initial place
of what they're used to going into the evolving technology. Of course, managing change is very important, because that is one thing that humans are resistant to. But if we must grow, then we must, of course, evolve with the evolving technology. But we're still talking about how the next generation of professionals can take advantage of the changing world of work and ensure that they are well positioned in terms of skills, in terms of the technical know-how, in terms of all that they need to prepare themselves for the changing world of work, especially looking at these statistics that the global economy would need 25 million new project professionals by 2030. Ifemade, are you with us?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. So let's talk about how the next generation of professionals can position themselves for the changing world of work.
So I'll summarize it in one word: skill. Skill. For the young people in this generation to remain relevant, they must begin to ask themselves, what are the necessary skills that will keep us relevant? And this is the time to begin to develop interest and know-how in those skill areas. Like we're talking about project management today. Project management is a relevant skill area no matter the field of work. and it will remain relevant even for years to come. So they must, young professionals must continue to search out and discover relevant skill areas that would continue to help them scale their in their careers, and get those skills. Mastery is also important. Most times, a lot of people want to touch on so many different areas without really mastering any area specifically. And if you're going to be relevant in years to come, you have to, yes, it's okay to have general knowledge of a lot of areas, but then what are you known for? What skill area have you mastered? So I think that approach is very, very important if young professionals are going to remain relevant in years to come as far as work is concerned.
So why is project management coming to the fore right now? How important is it to businesses, especially in Nigeria? I know this is a global statistics, but let's dovetail it to Nigeria. How important is it to businesses in Nigeria, and why is it coming to the fore now?
Okay, so like we've seen the statistics, globally, we're going to need, I think, 25 million project managers. And it's important because, like I said earlier, there is literally no field of work where project management is not necessary, right? What is maybe we should even ask ourselves,
is it as important? Because I'm looking at the context of Nigeria. How important do we take it as a country? How many businesses value the role of project managers? How many businesses have project managers? That is where I'm coming from. Ifemade. Okay, Femade will definitely be back to talk to us about that, because of course it is a global statistics, but we have to bring it home and see how relevant it is to the Nigerian economy, especially when it comes to a skill like project management. A lot of managers or business owners may not see the importance of that skill. Welcome back, Ifemade.
Thank you.
Yes, so let's relate it with our Nigerian context.
Yeah. You were asking a question. I didn't quite get.
Yeah, I'm talking about the fact that, yes, it is a global statistics, talking about, excuse me, 25 million project managers needed in the global economy. But let's bring it to Nigeria. How many businesses see the relevance of having a project manager? How important is it? How important is that skill in the Nigerian context?
Okay, thank you very much. So a whole lot of business owners, especially when we bring it down to MSME owners, are not aware of the importance of project management as a skill set. Because most times MSME owners are looking at how can we cut our costs, how can we use the little, the limited human capacity we have within the company to fit into multiple roles, even if the necessary skills are not in place. So the understanding of the relevance of project management is not there. And for those who know the importance, they would rather cut their costs and increase revenue than bring the necessary skill sets on board. However, that's actually sabotage, because as the company grows, those loopholes will be made obvious. If you don't have anybody within, if a company doesn't have anyone that can fit into that role of project manager in the team, there will be a lot of loopholes in the processes of the organization. There would be a limit. They would grow at a limited pace, because projects and products development and deployment will not be properly handled. So the suggestion now would be, if MSME owners are looking at cutting costs by not bringing in so many people on board into the company, they can train the people within the company with the necessary skill set, right? So that that skill is not missing. So it's not as much as bringing somebody new on board as it is that they can actually train people within their organization to bring them up to speed with this very, very important skill sets such as project management.
Apt, quite apt. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Ifemade Kunat, lead coach, House Top Coaching. Thank you for your thoughts on Business Breakfast this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.